down routine. And they're off. Another Sicilian defence, the usual. So the first half dozen moves are practically mandatory in this. In fact, the first 10 moves, I think, Anand playing white, we've had the same opening moves in every single game. This is the fifth Neidorf variation of the Sicilian defence.
In some ways, Kasparov should be an easy person to prepare for because he just plays the same opening all the time. It's extraordinary.
The trouble is, he keeps winning with it.
It does. It defies logic. If you keep repeating openings, you should, in theory, get caught out more.
Now, I think we've had these identical opening moves in every game with Anand white. Always got to this position, and the difference in the plans he's adopted has been where he develops this bishop. In an early game, he put it on this square, sort of pointing down vaguely in this direction, intending an attack on that side. In later games, he put the bishop here, pointing at black's king. That was one of the games where he missed the sacrifice of that bishop, which would probably have given him a win. I think that was game 3. And now back to the more cautious plan, the pressure on the queen side. Knight retreating, just to avoid exchanges, but Kasparov pursuing it. So there's come off. Now up to here they both played very quickly. They've diverged from the earlier game already, so on new territory.
I think that's a very odd move. Kasparov's last move, the rook there. The rook really belongs on the c file. Most of Black's counterplay in the Sicilian defence tends to be along the c file. I'm sure the reason he played it was he was worried about white opening up the position with e5, in which case the rook is well placed on the d file. But it really limits the champion's counterplay. It's not a very active move, and Kasparov likes to be active.
It's terrible knowing where to put the rook as black in these positions. You want it on this square for play in the centre. You want it on this square for play down the open line, and you want it on this square, which is where Kasparov used traditionally to develop it, to support the advance of this pawn and to get your pawns moving up on the queen side.
If you did want the rook on d8, though, it would have been better putting the rook that's on e8 there, I think.
Then he'd have wasted a move with that rook.
No, he doesn't want to be there anymore, Bill.
You want your rooks on every square on the back row in this line. Now, bit of excitement.
This is a
nice
very
little
clever
flurry
move.
of excitement.
Very clever move.
Pawn coming up attacking the queen. Well, the neat thing is that the queen can't take it. Let's just see what happens. If the queen takes that pawn, what do you play?
Well, either rook. You can move the rook on d1, that's probably more accurate. Forcing the queen back to a5.
Queen's only got one square.
And now it looks like you're winning the exchange, but in fact you're winning the full queen after bishop b6.
Not
Queen
only attacking that
nowhere
rook on
to
d8,
go.
the queen just has no squares. Extraordinary. All those open lines. Anyway, that didn't happen. That would have been a bit of a shock if it had. The pawn just come up to attack the black queen, remember, and the queen, without thinking much, hurried back. Now, what you often find if white plays like this in the opening in this line is that the advance of that pawn has left all these squares unprotected down the line that black has the advantage on, down that c line. The question is whether white can develop an initiative on that side.
Well, white already has an initiative. If you look at how many pieces he's got on the queen side, okay, he's got some weaknesses on the c file, but, you know, all black's pieces are on the wrong half of the board. You know, he's got a massive space advantage on the queen side, and that bishop, those bishops pointing
but
down.
These are isolated pawns.
Oh, don't worry about
permanent
pawns.
permanent disadvantage there.
No, the initiative's more important than this, I'm sure.
Clearly has that, but black is very squeezed.
Black is squeezed. As Bill said, like, it looks like you can grab another pawn here for black, but you still can't. You just lose your queen again.
Yes,
amazing.
if the queen takes that pawn, one white rook comes here to chase it, and then the other rook wins it next move. It's very, very well worked out. So Kasparov, not wanting to be tied to passive defence of this pawn, attacks this one instead.
Yeah, this isolated pawn that you've been having a go at is completely restraining black's position, this c pawn, because you would have wanted to advance your d pawn. Instead, you've got to advance your e5 pawn. But no white.
So this is the play in the centre that black's been trying to get for a long time. Now the bishop coming to attack the queen. Exchange of pawns in the middle. And now, well, one of the isolated pawns is very secure indeed, nicely defended by the bishop.
White has so much
Go
more
on.
space, and also black's pieces are... Look,
Black's
he's got nearly
very, very
every
cramped.
piece on the back rank as well. And as well, white's got the bishop pair.
Now, what do you think?
Incredible move. I almost...
Extraordinary move.
Why?
White
Why?
certainly has...
Well, you're putting your rook on a square where the knight can just capture it. It's it's extremely bold. Like, white has a fantastic position. You wouldn't expect him to do a move like that, you know, to unbalance it. The knight can just take the rook.
Yeah, but he's done it for a purpose, presumably. What?
I think, first of all, if the knight doesn't take the rook, the other rook would probably come in behind it. It's tying black down very much and preparing to invade. Kasparov took the bait. And why not? Take the rook, and the pawn takes. Now, it's transformed the position. Black's now rook for bishop up, but white's bishop on this square, which was terribly impeded by the pawn that sat here, is now looking rather dynamic.
So that's why he did it. That's why.
No,
he
I think
sacrificed
more important than
getting
that is he's
pawns.
getting the pawns.
These
The
two
C,
pawns moving.
he's linked up those pawns, and they're just going to steamroll through. Like, it's clear what he wants to do. He just wants to make a... He just wants to...
But there is counterplay.
Yeah, like
Black's
takes
own
it, you know.
pawn
Yeah.
is rushing forwards. Now it's becoming a race. Pawn attacking the bishop,
And
bishop
the rook's coming
retreating.
into play. Now that's a very clever move because not only are you defending your d5 pawn, but you're hitting that critically weak b7 pawn, which, you know, if you, that's like the last barricade that you've got to get through. After which you just can't stop the white pawns.
But no, just very briefly, when Anand made that rook sacrifice, how many moves ahead do you think he was looking?
Incredibly deep. When I looked at it, even a couple of moves later, we were analysing it. We thought, what is the guy playing at?
Yeah.
It was incredible, but. You know, he seems to have seen a long way ahead. To make such a move in a good position, you have to have seen very deep.
Well, now we've got black's queen and rook attacking down here, and it's clearly getting very critical. White has to defend. White must secure his king. Now the pawn advancing again. White's pawn advancing. Rook coming in, joining in the attack. Now the queen takes that pawn. Now white's got these three pawns galloping down the board. He's attacking the rook. And black's just moved his queen, threatening. Take this pawn with a rook. Rook takes the pawn. White's pawn recaptures. And black's queen takes on that square. And white is mated. Black's threatening mate in two. White's attacking a rook. White's pawns are running down the board. This is a critical moment. Something's got to give.
This is probably, yeah, you can tell this is almost the most critical moment in the entire match because both players are sort of hunched over it. You know, something must be happening. So many pieces are going to be lost. Or
He looks to be, he knows what he's going to do, but he's just reluctant to commit himself, Anand, doesn't he?
Oh,
He's sort of, that hand is trying to move out and move a piece. It's not quite
it's a horrible moment to be in. You know,
Terribly nervous. Anand is not a switcher. Anand is a nice, calm sitter at the board.
there's all
But
kinds.
not this time.
Well, no, obviously something's shaking them. You can tell. I mean, this is,
Can I just be clear? You think either of them could win at this moment?
well, it's completely in the air. Like, I like Anand's position because I like all the pawns. But,
Yeah.
but he's got to do something about this fourth mate. Because Kasparov is ready to move and mate in two.
If Anand doesn't get mated, he'll win in a few moves. If he does, he'll lose. But just to look at the expressions, you wouldn't feel Kasparov.
Kasparov doesn't look like a
very
man who's
happy.
going to deliver mate in two, does he? He doesn't look.
Storm out of the
He
door.
doesn't look very pleased about the situation. I think that tells us more than anything we could analyse.
Go on, move it.
Go on, play.
Go on, go on.
He
go
wants
for
to.
it.
He wants to. Oh, he's stopping himself. It really is an awful situation to be in. There was one situation where a grandmaster had a winning move and he
Here
just
you go.
couldn't play it. He lost on time instead.
You can see his hand wanting to make a move.
He has to stop
Brain
himself.
is holding.
Because he's
sit
such
on
a
your
fast
hands.
player,
that's it. Get your no, it's come out again.
He's so impulsive, Anand, but he really is exerting incredible self-control here.
This is the man they call the quickest player in
Yeah,
the world or something. What's going on?
Any circumstances other than a world championship match, especially after 8 draws in a row. You know, you get into a rut. You feel you can't win or lose.
You can't do anything decisive, yeah, that's it. You just
Go on,
can't
do
play
it, do it, go for it.
Once again, that he knows exactly what he wants to do. That's so amusing. It's going back. very aesthetic.
He's done it. The king's defending the mate. Can we see the move on the computer? Just that last move.
Incredible
Anand
move.
just played.
Incredibly calm, the move.
Just moved his king up, defending the pawn, and now the white queen is attacking one rook in this corner. The white king is attacking the other rook down here, and quite apart from that,
He's
this
got
white
three runners
pawn
as well.
is galloping straight down the board to become another queen. Really, once you've seen that white king move, the position really is quite hopeless for Kasparov.
But then why did the man take so long to think of it?
Well, you've got to be 100%. If you get it wrong, then it's over. I mean, why not? You've got time. He just needs to be sure, especially after 8 draws. He wants to win this game. And
Does he at this moment know he's got it, and Kasparov thinks he's lost it, or is what's going on now?
I think he knew.
He's given up.
He knew while he was thinking about that move. That's why he couldn't play.